And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Monastery Live, where we drink, we laugh, we shit post. All the means of finding enlightenment through the worst ways possible. I am, as always, your gaming monk, better known as Mildra, and with me I have my good brothers here. We have the bane of NPCs, good brother Aaron. We have the flamboyant flyer, good brother Flutter. We have the angry good brother Routes. It is 11/11, 2018, number 23 in Monastery Live. How's everybody doing today?
Well, if it weren't for the fact Mitch Trubisky was kicking ass today, it would have been a repeat of week 1.
Now we're getting smoke. So I gotta
what's your team, man?
No. The whole thing with the wildfires.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What minute? Went up to Oregon?
I live right by the border, and we've got a couple fires up here.
Oh my God.
Like half the country is on fire, and the other half is frozen.
Yep. I'll take frozen for $500.
Well, I got lucky, and my realtor gave me the contact numbers and said that on the 20th, when the contracts go through and we start loading up the house here, if I call her, and if I call her and let her know when they're going to show up, she'll hang out at my new house all day and wait for the fucking utilities people to show up. And she'll make sure that the thermostat's set at like 70. And she was even like, if you want to, you can send me a couple, like $100 or something. I can go to Walmart and make sure you guys' fridge is stocked for when you get here. So things are looking up.
Nice.
Yeah, she's been really fucking helpful.
Well, at least, hopefully you got that price settled before that crap happened. Otherwise, it would have taken a nosedive.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I got a 4-bedroom, two-story house that I'm selling for $175K. So I'm fucking out of here.
Good. Yeah.
I do have a joke for anybody listening in Michigan. You guys lost to the Bears.
The Bears are actually good. It would have been true yet last year.
I'm just saying because I had so many people saying that Detroit was actually going to stand a chance this year, and I was thinking, no, they're not.
Nah, they're like the damn. No. They're like they're like Merca's team, except without Jerry Jones.
Well,
except without Palpatine.
Let's be honest. Detroit is still reeling from the fact that they ended up getting a Viking invasion last week.
Yep, and you know what's even worse for Detroit? They gotta deal with us again in Thanksgiving.
Oh, lovely.
Oh boy.
Oh, it could be worse. You could have another instance of what happened with the Jets a few years ago.
Oh, butt fumble.
I believe your words were when I showed you the gif of that where just quit.
Well, look at it this way. At least they won the tank today.
Yep.
By a long shot. How can you get the Bills to score 54 points on your ass?
Yeah. Jesus.
Shit, they should have just put in. They should have put in Peter meme in there just to make it fair.
I would bring out the Buffalo inebriation meter, but it's still being worked on.
Yeah, I think the optimism meter is actually up instead. But
give it a week. That thing's gonna die it.
Yeah, they're bringing out the inebriation meter out next week. You watch.
And to my surprise, judging by the likes dislikes on the special that was done on Friday.
How many dislikes do we have?
Somebody just gave. We were on a clean sweep, and then somebody just gave it a dislike.
Uh,
So maybe somebody from New Agenda got pissed at us. If that's the case, and all they could do was just dislike instead of comment, well, I know who's the coward in the bunch, and it sure as hell ain't me.
Right.
Oh damn! I knew I forgot to put another thing in this. I forgot to put the sad violin in there. Damn it! Oh well.
Botch.
Yep.
So, I was expecting to get my ass kicked with the recently put up BattleTech review. I reviewed BattleTech: A Time of War. I'm obviously not going to review the miniatures game itself because that's not what I do. And trying to cover that whole thing in a summarized form, no, I don't need that pain.
Right.
But they were pretty. I was given a pretty kind reception. There was one comment that said the fact that you took half the video just explaining character creation already told me all I need to know. Yeah. I've hinted at it on Twitter, but the next review is going to be my little tribute to the late Greg Stafford, who is probably my biggest inspiration when it comes to tabletop design. So I'm reviewing one of his games, specifically Pendragon.
Nice.
So we'll see how that whole thing plays out. Although I will say, Pendragon is not a game that I would bring at conventions. It's not a quick one and done. You will not see me use it for a Monk Mini or something like that.
Right.
So let me load. Oh, before I get into the other thing, I should note that I have been spending way too much time on Tetris Effect.
Don't beat yourself over it. I've been going back because of the whole Diablo thing. I decided to go back on Path of Exile.
Yeah, Path of Exile from everything I've seen seems to be following the Warframe model, where they're just constantly and consistently updating this stuff and are very fair when it comes to microtransactions.
Yeah, and like from what I heard and from what I've been hearing about for the game, it seems the game apparently is a little longer than any of the Diablo games.
It's got a bit of a learning curve.
Yeah.
I'm not going to deny that. You've seen what the upgrade tree looks like.
Oh yeah. And I've noticed I keep spamming that frost attack with my goddamn witch. Yeah.
But
Sorry.
For what it's worth, Tetris Effect is basically Tetris as designed by the same guy behind Rez and Lumines.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to audio and visual, it's a trip to play. I highly recommend playing the thing with headphones and playing it with the lights off. So I don't think I've done that kind of recommendation since I went through a manga called Blame. But what was that?
Sorry about that. I guess that was me.
Were you playing some synthwave in the background?
No, it was starting up Legacy Wars again.
All right. And now let's get into a bit of news.
All right.
So first things first, we have a bit of a thing from WotC.
Boo!
So Nathan Stewart has teased that a new D&D setting book is coming, and that it won't be Spelljammer. Because it's not like people have been asking for Spelljammer to make some form of a comeback for fucking years.
Exactly.
Well, this is WotC we're talking about.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Spelljammer was, and Routes, maybe you can corroborate with me on this. Spelljammer or back in AD&D was a bit of a mess, but it was a fun mess.
It was a fun mess.
It was the good kind of dumpster fire.
Yeah, it was a good kind of dumpster fire. It was tongue in cheek. It was fun. It was interesting. It pretty much everybody who had a sense of humor enjoyed it. Everybody who was AD&D as serious business didn't.
Yeah.
I liked the Monsters Compendiums a lot. I didn't actually use Spelljammer, but I did use like the blueprints for the ships as wrecks to find in weird places. It was good. I mean, it was much better written at the time than, say, Greyhawk, or hell, it's a lot better written than Forgotten Realms was. And it looked like it had more excitement and more potential.
Yeah.
Great. I know that I understand Greyhawk's position as one of the OGs when it comes to settings, but to be honest, Greyhawk never really left that much of an impression on me.
Everything had already been done by other people before you rolled up your character. Was my problem.
Yeah, but it's
but something tells me Watsy's probably gonna bring out something really stupid.
Mm-hmm.
they say that it's not a new setting, but it's not Spelljammer, which except the only other ones I could think of are ones that there's no way that they would have the balls to do, because they're not going to do Al Qadim.
Probably not.
They're just not, because if they do that, they'll get accused of cultural appropriation. They're not bringing back Karatur because the fans have already beaten them to that and done a better job. And the idea of bringing back well, they already, and I seriously doubt they'd bring back Dark Sun because they don't want any sort of threat when it comes to their players.
Of course not.
But well,
it's gonna be something rote. I know that for sure.
It's probably going to be Greyhawk.
Oh yeah,
because that would be the safe route, and that'd be their way to suck on somebody's nostalgia dick.
Yeah.
Although from what I've heard, the Waterdeep Dragon Heist hasn't exactly been received well.
Well, that's no surprise. Like I said, it's like I've been saying before about WotC. Even most of all these other mainstreamers, they don't got an original idea in their heads, and even if they do have an original idea, it really sucks.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of original idea, a bit of bad news. This is going to be a 1-2 punch, but John Wick has had to let go of a lot of people in his company, saying,
"Oh boy."
After reviewing the company finances in August, I discovered that John Wick Presents wasn't making enough to sustain its current workforce. And so, in the ugliest and hardest day of my life, I had to lay off all the JWP employees. What this means is the 7C lines are going to slow down. I cannot maintain the release schedule we promised before Gen Con. That doesn't mean these books aren't going to happen. It just means they're going to be slower than expected.
Well, I think they fucked.
John Wick has launched several successful Kickstarter campaigns after he got the rights to 7th Sea. But and they do a good job of keeping themselves updated, but unfortunately it means that the War of the Cross board game isn't going to happen.
All right. I'll be honest with you. I mean, this is one of those situations where they went a little too big, a little too fast. They should have, like they said, when you're working with a Kickstarter, like I said, you have to scale things down a bit. You can't just go from 0 to 1,000.
Right.
That's what I think they did here.
Yeah, there were 12 source books that were planned so far. 7 of them have come out.
Oh, geez,
and don't get me wrong, they have not put a bad one in all of them, but I think it's a matter of them trying to do this constant cycle of kickstart, which wasn't going to work.
Yeah, it was way too ambitious.
I think now fortunately they're not going complete belly up. It's just that they're slowing down.
Yeah.
Now, on the other hand, I am not so kind to Evil Hat. Why? Because well, let me read you a post that Evil Hat Productions had put out just before the midterm elections.
Oh, caution, more virtue signaling.
Okay. Called a word from the hat. Today we ask you to vote. Of course, you're free to vote your preference, but if you believe politics doesn't affect gaming, you're mistaken. Tariffs and trade wars inflate the cost of producing board games, and the rights of LGBTQ people, an underappreciated presence in our hobby, are under attack. And the creative energy
I know the bar isn't open, but bartender, I think that we need one.
Here, guys. Yeah, drink.
Yep.
I know the bar isn't open yet, but come on.
And the creative energy of our artists, editors, and designers is sapped and strained under the endless litany of scandals, fear, and cruelty afoot in our nation. Your vote matters to us, to your fellow gamers, and to the future of our country. Vote with compassion.
Okay, you know what? I got one for that making that stupid shit like that. You know what? Stephen A's got a word for y'all.
Stay off the damn weed.
Oh, definitely. But they put out that they're scaling back as well, and I found out about this less than 24 hours after they decided to go virtue signaling, which made me very. And it is, and unfortunately, they don't have the excuse of going too hard on Kickstarter because they've gotten large enough that they don't have to rely on that. But I'm taking a special bit of joy in this because Evil Hat Productions has a long and illustrious history of throwing their weight around. Do you remember the Gamergate card game that got taken off because people complained to One Bookshelf?
Yes.
It has been heavily implicated that Evil Hat Productions was the driving force when it came to that shit.
So that's where they spend their money on. Instead of spending money on their games, they spent their money trying to mark weight everyone else. Oh my word! You know, in John Wick's case, they overextended themselves. In this case, they put money where they shouldn't be.
Oh, very nice. Oh, thank you.
Oh my god!
Now, granted, there are still a few things that they are publishing that I'm interested in. One of them being Channel A, which
you want it.
I'm looking forward to. And they're probably gonna fuck up Aegon.
Oh yeah.
And I do intend on reviewing that. I would have sent the PDF of that to Mercedes, but if I did that, I would have been a hypocrite because of how many times I have given her shit for the time she confused Romans with Spartans. Or rather, it was vice versa when somebody brought up a image from the 300 sequel, and I was like, those are Spartans, not gladiators. Try again. Anyway, so Mike Merles did another one of his long-ass Twitter rants, this time about what 4th edition could have looked like.
All right, let's see.
Quote, hard to answer, because the 4E I wanted to do and the 4E we ended up publishing were different on a fundamental level. I wanted classes to have different power and acquisition schedules and more thematic ties between power types. Example: in the wizard, your daily spells would unlock words of power. The component words needed to cast a spell as encounter powers. The idea is you'd cast part of a daily spell as an encounter power.
Some tells me this probably only look good on paper.
Well, as far as this sort of thing, 13th Age did it a lot better, but but the thing is, Mike Mearls wasn't involved with that. Rob Heinsoe was.
Yep.
Who was the one who was doing the real work when it came to that edition.
So basically, there's another case of some moron just taking the credit for shit he didn't do.
Well, he certainly contributed, but Mearls, from my experience, has been the third unit guy. Like you know how in an academic paper the names will be put in order of contribution.
Yeah,
he's third or fourth from the top.
Yeah, and he wants to claim all the credit. I guess the term chain of command doesn't exist in his vocabulary.
But now, fortunately, it's not. It would have been interesting to see what his take would have been. But Heinsoe and Tweed did a better job than you ever will.
Yeah. So
and now let's get on to the and holy shit!
Whoa!
So apparently it had to update. So Savage Worlds Adventure Edition, basically a new edition of the long-running and well-acclaimed Savage Worlds RPG. It has 3 days to go. It currently has 4,086 backers. They wanted 15,000. They
got back. Oof. They got back. I would say, let's see here, 15. They're getting back almost 30 times that number.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, they got it funded in less than 5 minutes.
Nice. I think they whoever did this Kickstarter probably hyped the fuck out of it before they released it.
Well, it's Savage Worlds is a big damn deal. Like I'd say it's the number 2 or number 3 game out there, because the big four currently have been D&D, Pathfinder, Savage Worlds, and Fate.
Oh, so it's a heavy hitter coming back into the play.
Yeah.
And now they only asked for 15. They got back 400K. That's something pretty damn good.
Yeah. Apparently this is supposed to be a new edition taking note of everything of what they've learned over the past 15 years. So let's see what we
Okay.
I
need something.
You got a nut?
No, you got it.
So let's see. The collector's edition is nice, but I feel like it's missing out by not having the art in question.
Yeah.
So yeah, Savage Worlds first started out in 2003.
Oh.
My first introduction to it was Deadlands Reloaded. And more recently, it was a bit baffling when Palladium decided to let Savage Worlds handle their license with doing a Savage Worlds version of Rifts. But like, these are just a few. There's a ton of examples of people using the Savage Worlds system to make use other settings, because it starts out as a universal game. Let's see. They've been all right. Okay.
So what is this? So what is this like? Sort of like what you go to two? It's like Far Cry would look like as a tabletop or something.
Savage Worlds is a universal style game.
Oh.
That meaning that it is designed to be a toolkit for whatever sort of genre or subgenre you would want to use. Some people have used the basic rules to make books that are specifically for that particular setting. For example, Deadlands. It had a different system before, which is referred to as the original Deadlands, and the Savage Worlds version known as Deadlands Reloaded. A lot of the early ones would start out with the Savage World of blank. One of my early introductions was the Savage World of Solomon Kane. I currently have the Explorers Edition, and it is really damn good. One of the things it does do a bit different is, much like Marvel Cortex, instead of using hard numbers, it uses dice sizes to determine ability. Going from D4 to D12. Looks like they are doing some work for backwards compatibility. Some chase rules that'll be nice to see.
Oh yeah, the chase rules. Yeah, really. It's funny because I've been trying to figure something out with my shit, but that looks good.
All right, so far.
So basically, what you're saying is this is sort of like an anthology RPG, so to speak, right?
I suppose they do lean a bit more towards pulp action.
Oh,
which shouldn't be it shouldn't be a surprise on that front because one, well, look at the cards in question, especially the King of Hearts.
yeah, fucking yeah, it looks like cash.
Both the King of Hearts and the Jack of Hearts here.
Oh god, so we got Ash from Evil Dead and the Shadow.
What evil lies within the hearts of men? And the playing card thing has always been a thing that they've done for a while, and it was their pulp influence, which was why I got interested in them back in 2004. Now, as far as the status cards, I probably won't be using that, but it's nice that they have those there. Got a decent bit of stuff here, and I'm interested in how the wild dice is going to work out. Let's see what we've got. So far, I'm not seeing a whole lot of danger here or wokeness with this.
Oh no. As long as it stays that way, I think this will be one hell of a comeback for this.
And you've got Know Your Killer Robots Volume 1.
Nice.
All right.
The Weird West. Ooh. Yep. Yeah, this sounds pretty. Yeah, this sounds very legit. I hope they are succeeding They are succeeding. It looks like they're hitting most of their stretch goals apparently.
Spirits of 1786. That'll be a nice one. That'll be a nice one to go with. If I end up running. Okay, here's what apparently the gimmick is. The War of Independence is one, but the Herculean effort to build a more perfect union has only started. This isn't history. This is pulp history in the post-revolutionary era.
Yeah, it looks like some. Yeah, it looks like it's sort of like some Barbary Coast. No, not Barbary Coast. Like some type of Pirates of the Caribbean type shit right there.
I'm reminded of colonial Gothic because this is basically the way that they have it set up is that it's supposed to be taking place shortly after America was founded.
Oh,
yeah. We'll have a bundle for virtual tabletops, so that's going to be good. And the main one that they're going to be using is Fantasy Grounds. Smart, very smart. I don't see any notes of Roll20, probably because once again, smart. Let's see, Red in the Rain. Ralph, judging by that picture, would you say Adept or Street Sam?
That one?
Yeah.
Street Sam.
Yeah, Street Sam. There's way too much tech. Not enough tattoos. Hey, look, I think we found Megan Fox.
Ha! Yep, that's what happened. Too much plastic surgery, sweetheart.
I could Weird Wars Rome. I could see myself running that because I have that's one kind of thing I've got a sucker for. Let's see.
Yeah, they got some pretty good concepts. I might even
wait. Let's.
Yeah,
customizable gear cards. Okay, this I'm interested in for both PDF and virtual tabletop.
Yeah, they got some good concepts. I won't be shocked if I decide to maybe borrow a few concepts to use in my own shit.
Just remember, if you steal from one guy, it's plagiarism. If you steal from more, it's research. But let's see. Okay, it says Pinnacle licenses the Savage Worlds game system to approved and independent partners. Each one of these aces has gone through our approval process and can now make settings and adventures for Savage Worlds. We've asked the aces to create brand new digital jump starts, a completely playable introduction to their worlds and adventures, featuring a sample of their background and setting material, edges, hindrances, gear, setting rules, creatures, and anything else you need to play. And best of all, you'll get these incredible playable settings absolutely free.
Pretty nice.
Yeah,
and like I said, I've already stole from multiple things. I'm already borrowing part. I've already added aspects of the Gumshoe system into the investigation tree.
Let me guess, you ended up reading Trail of Cthulhu for that?
Nah, I have the Gumshoe PDF.
Yeah, but so it's core Gumshoe, not Trail of Cthulhu or Esoterrorists.
It's core Gumshoe, and besides, like I said, I only took parts of it. So yeah, it's gonna be one of those slapdash things, but at least the goal is just to create a baseline. So
all right, let's. Okay, Tritech is working on updating Bureau 13 for it, so not too bad.
Mm-hmm.
Legion of Liberty, Superheroes of 1776. Okay.
Oh, nice. That could be something that might be a big seller.
Yep. Savage Mojo's working on updating the Suzerain universe into it. Not too bad. BPB doing Savage Tokusatsu. Okay.
Well, hopefully the danger here's don't get wind of it.
We'll see. I get the feeling that when that comes out, I'm gonna have a bunch of people yelling, "Have you heard about this?" So I'll have to bring out the sign of "I fucking know."
Yeah, they are raising quite a few. They're raising like 417K, so I'm sure it'll be big enough for these idiots to notice. Because, like I said, these motherfuckers are like parasites.
Slugger Boys is asking, would I run Savage Rifts? Yes. My biggest problem with Rifts has always been I don't care for for the Palladium system. I like the setting. I just don't like messing with the rules because I don't like having to. I don't like having to have a small book just of house rules. Ralph, I'm pretty sure you can relate.
I like having house rules, but that's me.
Yeah, but do you like having so many house rules? You may as well just make the damn game yourself.
Yeah, I know.
Dude, I'm a designer. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
But then again, Simbeta is kind of a prick.
Yeah,
of course.
Speaking of pricks, Let's talk about the PlayStation Classic and how it went from hype to let down in less than 24 hours, and now this. So it's been revealed that the PlayStation Classic is using PCSX, which is an open source emulator.
Yeah.
Which as Steven Santana over on DualShockers points out, is kind of rich that they're using an open source emulator because back in the day they tried to sue Bleem.
Oh, I've heard of Bleem.
No, I had Bleem. That was how I first played Final Fantasy 7 and 8.
Ah.
Oh.
Like I had, by the time I finally got a PlayStation, I already had half a dozen games I had played and beaten.
Yeah. So basically, they took the same idea from Bleem and started using it for themselves.
Yeah.
Oh, and Sony with your hypocrisy.
And to be honest, them using an open source thing could be seen as validation that these open source emulators can be just as good as professional ones.
Yep.
But at the same time, that I can't deny the hypocrisy at play.
Yeah, especially since they've already mentioned Nintendo law suing freaking ROM sites.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And now, for a bit of questionable news. So Microsoft has acquired InXile and Obsidian.
Uh-oh.
InXile is known as the people who brought back Wasteland, and of course Obsidian needs no introduction.
Right.
Obsidian's fucked.
Sadly.
Because we all know what happened with Rare. We all know what happened. I think didn't Microsoft take another great developer house and turn that into a fucking shelf a dust collector?
Well, they tried to have Rare focus on nothing but the Kinect, and everybody knew that thing was dead on arrival.
Yeah.
Hello there, Carbine. He says the only reason I'm here right now is because my sister woke me up. And Slugger Boys is saying, found the stream on just before I was getting to sleep, and now I'm planning a Shadowrun adventure on a subway system.
Oh boy.
Okay then.
Just remember, don't make a deal with a dragon.
Yeah, and stay off the third rail if you're doing it on a subway system. Because remember, it's not the volts you need to worry about. It's the amps.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it plays out. I hope that they don't do something stupid like demand that Pillars of Eternity get taken off of Steam and GOG. That would be really stupid of you, Microsoft.
Well, they'll probably do it anyway because it's Microsoft we're talking about.
This seems to be a push to try and get more varied content on the Xbox One, because that's been an issue for a while, but some people are also suspecting that this might be an attempt to get stuff onto the Microsoft Store that nobody uses.
Yeah, but like I said, it's just another example of how the Western gaming industry has turned into such a fucking dumpster fire. I don't know why Obsidian gets I don't understand why Obsidian let them get bought out like that. Idiots.
I think there were some cost reasons, but
of course.
So you remember how we brought up Chaos Bane last week?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they finally put out a trailer for one of their characters, Conrad Volin, who I guess is who obviously is going to be the Empire representative.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see about this game that is not coming to mobile. Yeah, we got plenty of Nurgle in here.
Yep. Well, at least they got subtitles.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay, so we're normally well, at the very least, I like that we're getting some ability to move while attacking.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, this is why Blizzard. It seems like everybody's taking advantage of Blizzard's fuck up. First Path of Exile, and now this.
Yeah.
Man, I think it's it looks like EA ain't gonna be the one eating shit from now on.
Yeah.
There'll be opportunities for them to eat shit.
Yeah.
I'm saying that EA won't be the only ones. It looks like Blizzard will be joining that little party as well.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but yeah, especially a situation that I think we'll discuss in a bit.
Yep. But I do like that this game is using sword and board and actually using the damn shield.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times in these sort of games, I've seen the shield just be used as a defense boost and not much else.
A defense boost and like a prop it worse just a defense. Just another piece of armor at best. Because I think in most games, a shield can make a very effective weapon.
Well, it worked out fine for the Spartans.
Yeah, really. You can. Yeah, he uses a fucking ram and shit. Man, that's again. And by the way, yes. I say this as somebody that is going to be using shields in my game. Because I figured with the riot shield, you could use that to basically ram people out the way or try to use it to break down doors and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now the idea of Warhammer meeting Diablo was always something that I figured was going to happen eventually. It looks like the team behind Chaosbane at least has some idea of how to do it properly.
Yeah, they probably took a look at Diablo. They probably took a look at what happened with Blizzard and says, okay, let's not do that.
Yeah.
Well, considering that they put out that tweet, I think that they are very aware of what not to do.
Yeah, they're laughing. Yeah, especially this gets some points. Their game looks pretty good. The question is when it's coming out next year, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes.
I might actually take a look at that.
All right, we'll see how things end up turning out. Yeah. And now it's time to laugh at Activision eating a bag of shit.
Because of course.
Destiny 2's sales are apparently disappointing.
Oh, you hear that sound? It's Bobby Kotick breaking more furniture.
So he's trying to pull a Tommy Wiseau.
Yep.
The funny thing is that they finally started getting their shit together, from what I've heard regarding Forsaken. But you can't. But you brought this on yourself by having so many fails and fuck ups over the span of a year, to the point where so many Destiny 2 streamers were leaving the sinking ship.
Too little, too late.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole microtransaction, the Glimmer thing, the XP lie, I think was what really set this off.
Whoops.
Yeah.
You keep pissing on your customers too much. Eventually, when you actually get your shit together, they're like fuck you, we ain't coming back.
But Activision has claimed that they're looking into new ways to monetize, which means more MTX.
Of course.
So
more nickel and dime schemes.
Which is why I'm both excited and cautious for Sekiro. I have to say, Activision, you stay the fuck away.
Yeah, really.
They've got something good here. Don't fuck this up.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of something good, so Palladius is working on a game called Edge of Eternity, which is going to be on Steam's early access next month. They are taking a lot of cues from console style RPGs, and they've got a bit of a teaser here. And yeah, the subtitle's not going to be the best. Sorry.
I don't know. From looks of things, it looks like I was about to say this was gonna. They're trying to copy off Final Fantasy 15.
Nope, doesn't look like it. We already have one game that's taking notes from FF15 with Lost Soul aside, which that particular entry is impressive for being done mostly by one guy.
Yeah, and another thing, I know this isn't mentioned in any of our news stories or any of our lineup today, but I heard I heard that development team has had some trouble and they had to cancel some DLCs.
I heard about that.
$33 million and cutting 75% of the DLCs for FF15.
Oh my god!
I do wish the best for Tabata. The funny thing is that the same day that this news dropped, they put out some more footage for Kingdom Hearts 3 and announced that there is going to be some sort of crossover thing between FF15 and 14.
I don't know what the fuck Square Enix was thinking, because my gripe with Final Fantasy 15 was I felt the game was incomplete.
I wrote that off on the amount of development that happened regarding the game.
I know, I understand the development hell and everything, and Tabata was actually I give him credit for basically trying to fill in all the fucking blanks here, and I think he was going pretty close, but I think what happened was Square Enix, once again, being all about money this, money that, they decide to pull the fucking plug and not see the whole thing through.
I do have to wonder if the MGS5 incident caused a bit of a spook.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. I think that's what happened. I mean, I think what happened was Tabata wanted to finish this, and now all of a sudden Square Enix says, okay, we're not throwing any more money behind this shit. So if it's incomplete, it's incomplete. Screw you.
Yeah,
we'll see how things play out.
Oh my god.
Now I've spoken highly about a little game called Redout, which, if anybody was ever a fan of Wipeout back in the day, I highly recommend trying it out, because not only does it do a good job of being in that style of futuristic racer, but it is damn good to look at.
Yeah.
And it looks like the developer 34 Big Things has decided that they want to try their hand at making a space shooter.
You know, when I look at that thing, you know what it doesn't remind me of Wipeout. You know what it reminds me of?
What?
Descent.
Well, with this new one, I can see the Descent comparison. Although it does seem like they're still having some degree of racing. It's just they're having more degrees of freedom.
Yeah. Now the question I'm still asking for the past 20 years is this: when are they going to remake Descent? That game was awesome.
Don't know, but and yes, we may as well make the joke. Do a barrel roll. Okay, I got that out of my system.
Yeah, do a barrel roll.
Do a barrel roll.
I'm sorry, I was legally required to do that.
Yeah, otherwise Peppy here would come out there and rabbit kick you.
No, I'd have to deal with Slippy bitching about something because he is useless.
Yeah, of course.
So far it looks fairly promising. Mm-hmm. They haven't lost their touch visually, I can say that much.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of with the Degrees of Freedom. Kind of reminds me of Strike Suit Zero, which is also pretty damn good. I have to say. We'll see. And yeah, this is pre-alpha, but that doesn't mean a whole lot.
Well, it looks all right, but then again, my number 9 looked pretty good. Then later on, they fucked it up. But
I'm willing to give this a shot. Because Redout didn't suck. It was hard, but it didn't suck. Phrasing. So it looks like they're planning for a 2019 release. Okay. And now it is time to open up. It is time to open up the kegs because the bar is open.
Okay, yes. They've already set up the kegs in a nice little pyramid fashion this time.
What? Here, me guys, refilling my cup with water.
All right. So this has been making the rounds. I first found out about it through BBC, and I was going to cover it on Thursday, but then Magog happened.
What happened?
Magog showed up.
Oh.
So you remember a while back that the Boy Scouts decided to change their name to the Scouts?
Yep, and should I ask DJ Khalid what happened to the Scouts? You know what? I'll just have him say it anyway.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Yeah, that's what the Boy Scouts is, because
apparently the Girl Scouts of the United States have filed a lawsuit against the Boy Scouts for dropping "boy" from the Scouts group name.
Oops.
Whoops.
Because they would rename themselves as Scouts BSA and allow girls as members. The Girl Scouts call this move uniquely damaging to them.
I don't blame the Girl Scouts here. I honestly don't.
Yeah, neither do I.
You know, what you did was, for the sake of wokeness, you try to make your shit inclusive, and now the Girl Scouts saying, "Yeah, you're cramping on our style, you idiot." And besides, everyone knows the Girl Scouts makes the best cookies.
Well, the cookie thing is if I remember, Routes, I remember you bringing up that apparently that I can't remember if it was you, Routes, or somebody else, but it was brought up that apparently that's the contention, that the Girl Scouts is nothing but the cookies, whereas the Boy Scouts are actually doing stuff other than cookies.
Yes, and it's also California wokeness got into the Girl Scouts bad. And started Girl Scouts were doing more and more activities until, it was basically we sell cookies and that's it. And the funny thing is, is the Girl Scouts were a big push behind, girls should be allowed in the Boy Scouts because we could do anything you can do. And they pretty much did this for themselves. The Girl Scouts didn't stand up for the Boy Scouts by saying we have a place for girls. It's called the Girl Scouts. They didn't stand up for them. They pretty much brought this on themselves.
Exactly. I mean, I don't blame him for going after the Boy Scouts for cramping on their style, but you know what?
Congratulations, you played yourself.
You know why the Boy Scouts? You know why less and less people have been going to the Boy Scouts?
Why?
Why?
Because they started doing the same woke bullshit the Girl Scouts were.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Whoever's behind that crap in both sets of the Scouts, they need to be dragged out and boiled in oil, because this is children you're fucking with, okay?
Yeah.
This is the same old indoctrinating subversive bullshit we've seen throughout history. And you're using formerly great organizations like the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts, and turn them into no better than some indoctrination cult. I mean, you might as well call them the goddamn pioneers, for fuck's sake.
I get the feeling what's going to slowly happen as both sides end up losing members is you're going to see a bunch of people say, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna make our own Scout equivalent with blackjack and hookers.
Yeah. Like I said, I would not be surprised if you have like a independent Scout troops, And you know what? I wouldn't blame them. I wouldn't blame it at all. I mean, hell, I would like to see Scouting to be a bit more decentralized.
Yeah.
And make it like hell. By the time this shit's over with, hell, you know what Scouting will remind me of? The fucking NWA territories. Think about it. It could work.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying of all the analogies you go with the NWA.
Yeah, have a fucking territory system.
All right.
All right.
Nice way to make things get competitive. So now let's talk about the Red Dead Redemption 2 saga.
This is why we say don't. They got Streisanded. Don't do that.
Shirako, a fairly respectable YouTuber, mostly does no commentary walkthroughs on his channel and streams games on his Twitch. He decided that he was going to beat up the annoying suffragette that shows up and won't stop talking no matter what you're doing in her vicinity, and decided to put up a video of her punching her and then feeding her to pigs and feeding her to alligators and dropping her down a hole. He had done other silly shit like making KKK members get into an argument and kill each other, bringing a black guy to where the KKK is, and the best one, which I'm going to save for after the fact. But apparently, Motherboard and a bunch of other folks did not take kindly to this, saying that people were excited, and the like.
I wouldn't say excited. It's just I'd rather say annoyed in terms of the whole thing with the suffragette.
If you're playing a game and you're running into a fucking annoying character, what do you usually do? Find that annoying character and beat the living crap out of them.
Yeah,
that's what I always did. Back in GTA 4,
eating with a spoon. Good girl. Sorry. I thought she was eating her hands.
Back in GTA 4, there was when you get to Bohan, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have the safe house. Outside the safe house, some crazy motherfucker yelling some bullshit, right? Every time I go out there, he's yelling about some stupid shit, I don't know what he is, but every time I come out there and I hear his voice, I seek the bastard out and I knock his ass out because he's annoying.
How many of you left Preston in some god-awful place so you never had to look at him again and left Marcy Long and just walked up and shot Marcy Long in the face with a shotgun?
Yo.
If I had to listen to her bitch about this fucking glorious settlement with enough fucking firepower to hold off super mutants one more time, fuck that. You get shot in the face, lady. I don't give a fuck about your dead kid. I'm tired of hearing about your dead fucking kid.
Yeah,
Another example that I have that would repeatedly piss me off that I couldn't do anything to was Otis from Dead Rising.
Oh, him.
Oh God.
Not only the fact that when he calls, and aside from the fact that when he calls you, you can't do anything, and he's a bit long-winded.
And he'd get pissy if you hung up because you got attacked by zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, it's like, he's very long. It's like, get to the point, you idiot! I'm being I'm some asshole's biting my leg off.
Mm-hmm. Plus, how many horrible things have we wanted to do to Wesley?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
a lot of horrible and unspeakable things.
So that's all that it was. It's just that this annoying character happened to be a suffragette.
Mhm.
It'd be the same thing as if I was playing a Voyager game and I had the option to shoot Neelix.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'd shoot I'd shoot Jane away. Just on general principle.
yeah. But here's the thing about, and this is funny about suffragettes. I don't know what it is with Rockstar, but did they confuse a suffragette with some danger-haired asshole from present day or something?
I think that was the joke.
Because
they made fun of feminists with they made fun of feminists back in GTA 5. Where you had a couple of joggers just going we are woman and we are free, and then Trevor just rolled.
Oh yeah.
It was Franklin's aunt.
Yeah, Franklin's aunt and one of her friends.
Yeah, then they go. Then Trevor just said, "Shut the fuck up," and they just walked off like oh shit.
Yeah, so it's not like that. It's not like they are any stranger to making fun of danger hairs. They've done it before, and
I bet you now because of this, I bet you 10-1. I hope Rockstar triples down on this and makes fun of them big time in GTA 6.
So far, Rockstar has not said anything. Although when bigger YouTubers had raised a stink about it, amazingly he got his channel back up. Meaning it's a case of like you said, they got Streisanded, and he decided, well, now that I've gotten some attention for this, let's do this one more time because there's one other thing I want to do. And he has somebody deported to Mexico.
What? You can get people deported in this game? Oh my god! So if any gamer has the honor of meeting the God Emperor, they should gift him Red Redemption 2. He'd love it.
Let me.
Yep. Sorry.
He put out it. He has a video that is currently at 500,000 views called "Deporting a Mexican."
Oh yeah, I gotta make a comment on that. Hold on a second. Yeah, yeah. I'll probably copy paste say you have to go back.
Because that is a thing of beauty. And now Rockstar hasn't said anything, and I don't think that they care because it's like, what's that? I can't hear you over all this money we're making.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're probably. I bet you the guys at Rockstar are laughing their asses off.
Oh, probably, especially since if you look at Rockstar's catalog, it's basically them trying to make games out of movies they like.
Yeah.
Like Midnight Club was somebody was obviously a Fast and Furious fan. Red Dead Redemption, somebody's a fan of westerns. GTA, somebody's a fan of various different crime dramas, and in the case of GTA 5, is just a fan of pissing on everybody.
Yeah, it's like the Wire and Heat rolled all into one.
The only sad thing is if you're gonna bring in the Wire, there's no Omar.
Yeah, no Omar. Where's the Omar character?
I do the whistle, but I can't whistle.
But I can.
Thank you. I probably will get it when it eventually hits PC.
Same here. And it's like, so my message to Rockstar is, you better get your shit together and put this out for PC. Toot sweet.
Yeah.
And now it's time to laugh at Riot Games playing themselves, because I'd say this is a case of wokeness begets brokeness.
Yep. DJ, Mr. Khalid, I think I leave the floor to you.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
So Riot Games is being sued for gender discrimination. 3 months after the Bro Culture report,
my friend.
they have been sued by one current and one former employee over the men first environment they say it enabled and encouraged. It alleges that despite promises to address sexism and discrimination at the studio, Riot Games is simply sweeping these allegations under the rug with empty investigations and counseling, while protecting bad actors from any repercussion. Oh, like any other corporation? You! The suit cites several examples of sexist behavior at the studio, ranging from requiring female employees to fulfill roles above their title and pay grade without compensation to sexually objectifying them. There is allegedly an ongoing Riot's hottest women employees email chain. That counts as objectification.
Like I said, there's some things you don't do in the workplace. I think doing that is one of them.
I'd call this stupid, but I wouldn't call this objectification.
Yeah, I mean, but like I said, professionalism, kids, learn it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And requiring them to tolerate and participate in crude male humor, which leads me to wonder if the people doing this lawsuit can't handle the bants.
All right, go back up. Let me see that. Go back up. Let's see. Crude male humor, including jokes about sex, defecation, masturbation, rape, and torture. One of the plaintiffs alleged that male employees use the word dick more than 500 times in a single month. Yeah, you really can't handle the band, sweetheart.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what's more sad. That they're triggered over the use of the word dick, or that they bothered to actually count how many times somebody used the word dick. Yeah, maybe. I guess they've never seen Reservoir Dogs. Oh, maybe if I wanted to be really cruel, I'd send them a link to Black Lagoon, the fucking short version. Just the supercut of every time the F-bomb is dropped in that series. Yep. Not to disrespect Black Lagoon, that's a fucking awesome series.
Mm-hmm.
It also claims that Riot prioritizes core gamers for new hires, a description that is generally assumed to exclude women. Well, you know what they say about assuming.
Mother of all fuck-ups.
Don't assume it makes an ass out of you and me.
Mm-hmm.
It's the mother of all fuck-ups.
Because this hiring practice disproportionately favors men. Many qualified women have been denied employment because they were not considered core gamers.
You think?
So you were denied employment because Imagine that, a video game company wanting to hire people who actually have a background with video games and who are going to be marketing to gamers.
Mm-hmm.
Especially a game with as hardcore an audience as League.
Yeah, really.
Really, really makes you go, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Female applicants and employees who are outspoken are considered aggressive, too ambitious, and annoying.
Well, doy.
The too ambitious thing seems to be a case of somebody. I guarantee the too ambitious thing was somebody who thought that they were going to come in as if they were going to be a future CEO one day, and everybody getting tired of them being full of their own shit.
Yeah. Like I said, it's again. How many times must I say this when it comes to these with some of these people that try to get into positions that they have no experience in, and try to raise a stink about it and say, "Oh, I'm not getting promoted." You know, it's not the fact you're a woman, sweetheart. It's the fact you're insufferable.
Yeah. It goes on to say, indeed, plaintiff Jessica Negron's former supervisor, Jeff Chandler, once told her that diversity should not be a focal point in the design of Riot Games products because gaming culture is the last remaining safe haven for white teen boys.
Oh, I don't know about that last part, but I bet you she added the last part, but nobody gives. But maybe the guy's basically saying nobody gives a fuck about wokeness. Just want to make good games.
Exactly.
Let's see some stuff about dick pics, some stuff about penetrate.
I hope she got evidence. I hope she got evidence.
And we have the lawsuit in full.
Well, here's what I think. No evidence, unless she comes up with evidence of said incidents or anything like that. That fucking lawsuit is gonna go nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's time to ask the question: what makes a red man red?
Wait, the hell? Oh, this.
Oh yeah.
So, Mr. Game & Watch.
Oh yeah. Bartender.
School
indeed.
So Game & Watch has been a long-running series of LED games from Nintendo, and because of that, we've had Mr. Game & Watch in Smash Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently this image during one of his Smash attacks, people that only shows up for 2 frames, people are associating with Native Americans because of him using because of one, it's referencing the fire attack Mr. Game & Watch, and where you have to defend a fort from Native, or a cowboy has to defend from Native Americans, and 2, the feather in the thing right here. Except this is given how chaotic a Smash game is going to get, and the fact that this is 2 frames, this is
cherry picking.
This is not even cherry picking. This is picking the cherry seeds while they're still in the tree.
Oh my god. Exactly.
And the argument that they tried to use is that in previous games they had taken away the headdress like thing, except
here's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't, because of one simple thing. This is Nintendo, not Sony.
Yeah.
I haven't heard any. Oh shit! So they actually. Hang on.
God damn it! Well, damn. You know, Nintendo, you need to Japanese developers, please stop bowing to these fucking outrage merchants.
Well, actually, I'm looking at the response. I'm looking at the response, and they only apologize that they didn't notice the change in the marketing material. But I don't see anything actually stating that they're getting rid of it.
Okay, then that's good.
So it seems like they just decide, yeah, just have these two paragraphs and let's get back to finishing this thing.
Yeah, really.
And I see in the side that it would be tempting for me to talk about the whole thing with Tara Strong, but to be honest, Tara Strong is a hot mess anyways.
Yeah, no. Yeah, she's got issues bigger than National Geographic. I mean, I don't know whose war is her or Kathy Griffin. But I think Stephen A's got a little message for her.
Stay off the damn weed.
Oh, definitely. And now for, well, this was something that was put up and dropped fairly quickly, like day after BlizzCon. So we already talked about Diablo Immortal, and apparently Blizzard had said that they had a Diablo 4 video planned and then scrapped it, and then immediately after the article goes live, an update is put out that is disputing the matter.
Oh boy! So they're saying that they had a video? Ooh, I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't think they had any sort of material plan, and especially given later announcements that they're moving their best devs over to mobile.
Yeah.
What it tells me is that they were trying to find some way to play damage control, especially when they keep saying we have multiple Diablo projects in the works, which doesn't say anything.
Multiple Diablo projects? Should I press X?
Yes. Now they are. I know that there's the confirmation that Diablo 4 is in development, but they really should have shown, even if they just showed like a 1 minute long trailer that just said Diablo 4 at the end of it. They should have done that to at least give some sort of placation to the people paying ungodly amounts of money to show up at this thing.
Yeah, it's a shit. That fucking Hobbit Todd Howard did it for fucking Elder Scrolls 6.
Mm-hmm.
Did his shit, even though God knows when that shit's coming out.
Yeah.
And by the way, if some of you haven't figured it out, yes, thanks to Routes, I did manage to get a beta key for Fallout 76. I played an hour of it, and my only review, I'm going to give only one word review of it. Meh.
I think it is a lot better if you've got somebody to play with.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so when it goes live, you know, and if you ever get on, just let me know, and you can join me in my gaming life.
Yeah, like I said, even if I do get this, which probably won't be for another year or two, I'm just waiting for the price to go down because this game is not worth $60. I'm probably gonna stick to the private servers.
It is to me, but that's me. And I've said before, it might not be for you. You know, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. I'm not going to tell you you're stupid. I'm going to say, I'm glad you found out that it's not for you before you spent $60.
Yeah,
So maybe keep used.
Yeah, I wasn't planning on buying the game anyhow, but maybe I'll give it a shot another year or two. We'll see what happens. That hopefully it doesn't turn into another Fortnite clusterfuck.
Yeah.
And I'm looking through the comments, and even the curated comments that Kotaku has aren't being kind to it.
Oh God, you know,
And
and
this
then
first one saying, sounds like Damage Control. Quick, leak to the media that D4 is coming.
oh yeah, and the funny thing is, there's still idiots defending Blizzard. Why?
Wow, why?
Like Pat the NPC?
Yeah, Pat the NPC punk. I got a couple. I got a follower basically saying, oh, basically taking their side. Why the fuck would you defend fucking Blizzard? You know they fucked up. Good God, folks. I think the problem is I think the problem is there are people that are big fans of Blizzard. I was one at one point. I played the World of Warcraft games. I thought Diablo 3, while it wasn't as good as the first two, it was passable at best.
Still had one of the better monks that I've played in the game.
Yeah, I mean, you actually get to go into heaven in Diablo 3, which I thought was a good touch. But still, but you have to understand, Blizzard's another one of these. It's following the trend of Western game developers shitting the bed and chasing money instead of actually making something decent.
You want to know what the best part is? Chasing after that Chinese money is starting to backfire already.
Oh yeah,
China has got. Aside from the fact that Tencent took a significant hit over the weekend, the Chinese government is starting to look into putting tighter regulations on gaming within their borders.
You know, I am no fan of China's of the Chinese government. Because number one, they're communists, and I hate communists. And number two, they're very authoritarian, and they want to put together this stupid social credit crap, you know, or what I like to call the NPC's wet dream. But I have to say, you know, maybe China's got a point here, considering how profligate some of these companies are getting. Basically, you putting together fucking money grabbing schemes. I mean, shit. At this point, it's like, what? When you have a game that's full of loot boxes and fucking microtransactions, is it any different than a fucking Ponzi scheme? Or better yet, is it any different than one of those video poker machines? Shit.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah.
Now it's time to laugh at the most annoying man in combat sports.
Oh God, this idiot.
So now this is slightly out of date, but Floyd Mayweather said that he was going to get into an MMA fight with Kenshin Nasukawa for Ryzen 14.
Oh, this
and then within less than a week after I found out, he's backed out.
Run away! Run away!
Run away! Run away!
Yeah, you know, look at it this way. He probably, you know what he did? He probably saw what happened with CM Punk when he tried it, and he figured, this is not a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially since
You see, here's the you know I can't really blame old Money Mayweather because of this. You want to know why? You want to know how he wins all his fucking fights?
run away and hug.
Run away, clench, defend. Run away, clench, defend. You can't do that in MMA. If your ass gets slammed down to the ground and you don't know how to guard yourself or get back up, you're fucked. Shit. Yeah, say what you will about CM Punk and the fact that he's got a worse record than the Browns when it comes to MMA, but At least he doesn't back down from a fucking bout.
He was willing to get his ass kicked, so I'll give him some props on that.
Yeah, he's getting paid for it. Might as well.
And now let's go on with the continuing saga of Mark Waid making a total ass of himself.
Yes.
Again. You.
Yes,
I am going to keep doing that.
Mark Waid, I wanted to ask you something, okay? When are you going to stop shooting yourself in the foot?
Especially since everything that's happening here, you know that this is the reason why the phrase "anything you say can and will be used against you."
Yeah, in this case, yeah, like I said, when you're facing a freaking civil suit, and you're not even settling, you might want to exercise that right to be silent.
Yeah.
Oh, Ralph, you sound like you're about to say something.
Why don't you go ahead and finish pooping, okay, and let us know.
Go for it.
Okay. Thank you for letting us know. Sorry. I forgot I was unmuted.
No worries. So he decided to show up on the Nerdist.
No.
God.
Go over to I'm gonna mute me, will you? I kind of got an emergency. Go to Ant.
If I mute you, I won't be able to.
There you go.
There we go.
Hello, Daddy, my old friend.
All right, hang.
Oh my God. Adjectivity.
I need.
Oh, of course, Hector Navarro would jump to this moron's defense.
Okay, never mind. For a second, I thought I couldn't unmute you because that happened. Beforehand. But anyways, so he decided to go on the Nerdist, which is one step removed from the Big Bang Theory when it comes to their shit, and is the reason why Will Wheaton has had any sort of comeback. The only thing that ever happened was the bowling thing that CM Punk and AJ Lee were in with some of the crew there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, of course.
Hey, come here.
But
oh, Jesus.
And this was a live stream, and let's look at the likes and dislikes for the thing.
Oh, and by the way, before we get started here,
Jesus.
Oh my word.
You 220. First off, they have deleted comments. Second off,
they've turned comments off. Actually,
you've got 2.5 million subscribers, and you can only get barely under 10,000 views for this thing.
Jesus Christ!
And third off, 228 likes, 2.5 thousand dislikes.
Yeah, and fourth, why would CM Punk hang out with a bunch of fucking pretenders like these guys?
He was still contracted to the Fed at that time.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, but they have the live session. It is the whole thing was cringy as all hell because it was basically Hector Navarro kissing Mark's ass. And
of course.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see.
Oh, I'm just looking at sorry, but I'm looking at Flutter's post on the Discord.
Yeah.
She busts up her leg during the freaking meet, but she decides to crawl to the fucking finish.
Well, she crawls to her partner.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus.
Good. I will applaud that level of dedication, but don't do that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
All right. But Wade's saying now it's turned into a lawsuit that hinges a huge part on defamation. I don't know how you defame who says Ta-Nehisi Coates is a race hustler. Well, it's because he is.
Mm-hmm.
That black people working at Marvel Comics is a minstrel show. Have you read? I have read America, and I have read that god awful abomination that was Black Panther and the Crew. That was a fucking minstrel show.
No, you're more like a shit show.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing. I don't recall this being a defamation suit. Wasn't this a contract?
Defamation is a secondary part of the lawsuit.
Oh, okay. So it's like did he forget to mention that the primary reason he's being sued is because he interfered in a contract? Apparently he didn't. Apparently he left that one out.
Yeah.
He did not bring up that at all, and he talks about everything but what he's getting sued over, and passive aggressively forgets to mention your boy Zach, and then goes on a tangent about politics.
Oh God. We all know how this ends, kids. You!
But then redoubling and more interesting. Look at all that. Delete. And
the umbrella guy. Oh boy. So they crashed the party. Yeah, you deserved it.
Yep, but putting users in timeout. Apparently John Trent had posted their article containing the initial lawsuit and was immediately put in timeout.
Well, Mark, at this point, you stand a better chance of winning this lawsuit than Cody Parkey even actually having a successful field goal. So at this point, there's one thing you need to do, and do this quick before you shoot yourself in the foot yet again.
Put your motherfucking head back down.
Let's see. Somebody saying Neil Gaiman is such a disappointment, and I had forgotten about how much of a prima donna Gaiman can get. So it's no wonder he was one of the. He highlights Gaiman and Simone as people who have donated significant amounts. If you consider $50 a significant amount for a lawsuit that's asking for $75,000. But Jesse Baker's saying Gaiman has always been a disappointment, and him supporting Wade threatening people is in line with him threatening to destroy Greg Weisman of Young Justice and Gargoyle's fame's career because he dared use one of Gaiman's toys in Captain Atom, forcing DC to embargo writers from using Neil's Sandman characters unless he gives explicit written permission, and even then, Neil being allowed to rewrite said writer's work if he doesn't like it, as what happened to Cornell's Death issue in his Action Comics run.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. Woo in my woo.
He says, here's the really funny part. They're technically paying his fine if he loses the case. So the contributions are really going to go to your boy Zach at the end of it all. If Richard wins, I hope he puts out a book and dedicates it to all those wonderful GoFundMe donors who paid to make it possible.
You know what? Oh boy. There's a good chance, and your boy Zach's gonna win the fucking case. So,
yeah. And somebody also pointed out that it's funny that it disgusts him to wear the Superman hat, and Baker once again comes in and says, "Take comfort in the fact that Wade's been blackballed from ever touching Superman, as far as the one and only time he was allowed near the character in a solo book, Birthright. He produced a steaming pile of dog feces and burnt so many bridges that everyone at DC basically told Wade never again as far as letting him within touching distance of Superman, which in turn led to Wade creating Irredeemable, which was Wade's murder revenge fantasy against DC, banning him from ever touching Superman.
So you mean DC? He was so insufferable that even DC couldn't stand his ass?
Get the fuck out of here!
Moron. I swear to God. What? Fucking Mark Wade. You know.
Although I do have to love this comment from David Fulham. Save the hat, burn Wade.
Good.
Yes.
And now this is a little bit dated because we've already gone through the midterms, but I thought this was a special kind of cringe. And yep, it's from Fangirls, the people we ripped into 2 weeks ago when they decided to claim that anime promotes fascism.
Oh God, how would the DC heroes vote if they? Bartender.
First off, give me a fucking drink for how they edited that thing with having black text bleed into your image.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ew. No.
Shameful display!
Yes.
And apparently, this is the third part of a series. They did one for the Avengers and they did one from Star Wars. I will not be looking at either of them, but we do have Twitter profiles for the people who contributed. So first for Anna Marie Cox. So let's see what we've got here. Okay, verified check mark.
He's from your neck of the woods.
Oh, no, wait, she's from Minneapolis. Fuck her.
Yeah, Mildred's from St. Paul, Aaron.
Oh yeah, that's right.
She's probably from South Minneapolis because no way has she ever stepped foot in North Minnie.
Of course not. Exactly.
And the first thing is going with the whole thing with ice. And
oh boy, you know what that means, kids.
Block. Yeah, 3
Block
strikes,
entry.
you're out. And next, the other one we have is Cher Martinetti.
Who's this idiot?
Oops. Okay.
Stupid pastries. Stupid shit.
Why
Stupid shit.
everything's about food and sweets? They didn't
Man, the only pastries I should see right now is Matt Stafford throwing them at the Bears D. Yeah.
Like famous Jameis Bakery.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Into the trash it goes.
And apparently a whole lot of Little Debbie. I don't know why you'd want to highlight that.
I bet you 10 to 1 she's as big as I am.
Mhm.
10 to 1.
All right. Let's see.
Let's see here.
Wonder Woman's ideal candidate is Kamala Harris.
Oh, that's a drink.
Favorite podcast: strong female characters.
No,
Yep.
that's a drink.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Let's see. Superman. Ideal candidate is Beto O'Rourke.
Signature policy goals: abolishing ice and climate change.
Are we going with this? That because
Here's the problem, though. Yeah. Beto O'Rourke, this guy's not fucking Hispanic. All right? He's an Irishman. Let's just put it this way. The only reason he went Beto is because he's trying to be more fucking... He's trying to be more Latino than Ted Cruz is, who's actually a legitimate Latino. The guy's Cuban.
Superman himself is more Latino than O'Rourke.
Exactly.
now if they're trying to. It seems like what they're trying to go with this is that Superman would be pro-immigrant because he's from Krypton. Except Superman has except in really bad stories, Superman has never viewed himself as that in that light. He sees himself as a Kansas boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, really.
So projection.
Of course.
Let's see, Batman. Okay, let me dock some points for their choices of Batman images by bringing in Batfleck and bringing in Henry Cavill, who is now going to be Discount Raiden.
Yes, and let me see, Joe Kennedy the third, that guy who won't stop drooling. I swear to God, he's a Chappaquiddick incident away from his political career being over.
Yep.
Supergirl.
Kirsten Gillibrand.
One word, Schneiderman.
Not to mention, let's see, and Aquaman Tom Steyer.
Yeah, go back up. Civil rights protection for LGBTQIA, snafu, WD-40, what the WTF, barbecue, FUBAR. Oh God, this is some cringy ass bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Aquaman's thing is access to clean water. That means that Atlantis would be declaring war on China, India, Mexico, those places that make up 90% of the fucking pollutants in the ocean.
Yeah. We're talking about war over clean water. I mean, didn't these idiots bitch about going to war over oil back during Iraq? This is going to be even more of a fucking frivolous reason to go to war with a country.
Let's see. For the Flash, going with John Case.
John Kasich. Drink! I hate that motherfucker.
School.
John Kasich is a whiny ass neocon that's just pissed that because Trump spanked him in 2016. Fucking idiot.
Let's see. Green Arrow picks Mark Cuban. I think we broke him.
What?
What you got?
Oh my word! You know what? This doesn't deserve a drink. I think Stephen A. would like to talk to woke Green Arrow.
Stay off the damn weed.
And the last is Nightwing, whose apparently their candidate is Cory Booker.
That guy's got some skeletons in their closet.
Yeah.
Oh, my word.
Well, as a politician, every politician has skeletons in their closet.
Yeah, you know what's funny? I'm surprised none of these idiots put Bernie Sanders as their ideal candidate.
Oh, probably because they were too busy running off Bernie.
Yeah, and it's not going to matter. Every one of these idiots ain't gonna beat Trump in 2020. Because, like I said, they overextend their fucking bullshit. Like they're gonna do when they take over the House. And you know what? I'm gonna laugh at them, especially especially Miss Crazy Eyes, who apparently didn't plan to having to move to DC and get an expensive apartment.
Yeah.
Well,
sleep in your own office, sweetheart.
To be honest, that the whole thing with the apartment is a bit of an issue, and it's also a bit of a nothing burger.
It's a nothing burger, but you know what? It's funny because
it certainly is, because this is somebody who's talked out of her ass regarding economics, and clearly didn't apply her own economic lessons to herself.
Yeah, she's gonna be such a fucking lol cow. And you know what's going to be even funnier? What if, and there's an outside chance this happens, what if they make her speaker?
Ah,
Oh, it'll be fine to see her, to see every single member of the room decide to have eyes straight on her.
Oh my God. She would be even a better way of getting Trump reelected than Pelosi.
But no, I didn't have the article for this. Apparently there was some sort of gaffe going on. Let's see, what do we have here? Slowly but surely, I'm turning into the internet's disappointed father. It's from Bennett.
Bennett. I don't know what he means by this tweet, but let's just say
given the other people he was associated with, can you really blame him for being disappointed?
Yeah, really. I mean, he's got, like it or not, he's got that channel awful stink on him. But still,
I'd say he and a few others have made some strides to get that thing out of their system.
Can't say I blame him. Benedict.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Let's now. One of the things that I wanted to bring you in for Aaron, because of where you're located. Can you shed some light on this?
The game tax.
Yeah, can you shed some light on this entertainment tax thing?
Okay, I don't know much about that, but I think it's some sort of stupid law that was made to like deal with all the other shit. But the problem here is this is another case of the city of Chicago just fleecing its residents. And one of the only reasons why I will never live in the city of Chicago. All you're gonna do is scare people out. If that won't do it, people getting shot will. Okay, so so the thing here is this. You know what's funny about this? You know, you're charging people almost 9% to enjoy their fucking Netflix and play their goddamn video games. What? You want them to go out and shoot people?
When I was doing research on this whole thing, I found out that apparently one of the other people that has never been happy about this entertainment tax is the Blackhawks.
Oh, I'm sure they're not happy about that shit. Especially since, let's say, the Blackhawks has been doing really stupid shit lately. Getting rid of Coach Q. Yeah, Stan Bowen trying to save his stupid job. But still, it's really pissing in a lot of people's porridge over in Chi-Town. And you know what? This can lead to some bullshit. But the thing here is the question remains is there's a mayoral election coming up in Chicago in 2019. And Rama and Dead Fish Emmanuel is not going to run again. So it means the mayor's office is wide open.
Yeah,
I bet you this fucking entertainment tax will become an issue.
Probably because when a lot of companies who might be willing to invest, who might be looking to have some sort of investment in the city, look at that and how it's a 9% tax, which is higher than most states have for sales tax.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
they might say, you know what, maybe it's best we take our business elsewhere.
Yeah,
but
can
you imagine the uproar that would happen if say the Blackhawks or the Bulls because of this tax decide to move?
Yeah, and let me tell you something else. You want to know what's even worse about this fucking tax? If you decide, you know what, maybe I'll drive all the way out to fucking DuPage County or something, or go to fucking Lake County and buy my shit there. That's not going to work there, Junior. You want to know why?
Shoot.
Because because if you buy anything in Lake County and your residency comes back as being in Chicago, you have to pay the tax.
Yeah.
So it's like here's how let me tell you how gas prices work in Northeast Illinois. It's one of the highest in the country. Right now, it's gone down considerably lately, but when you go into Chicago, you're usually paying about 40, maybe 50 cents more gas. Especially you go into Cook County. If you go into the city proper, it's 50%. It's like 50 cents. If you go into like Cook County, 30 cents maybe. Mm-hmm. It's like, so say you live in Chicago, okay, and you got enough gas to go out to like say for instance Carroll Stream, which is in DuPage County, or fucking Glen Ellen. You're paying and you end up paying 50 cents cheaper gas. You put in your debit card, right? They read it. And that cheap gas price that you thought you were getting, it's 50% because your area code comes back as a fucking Chicago area code, a zip code, I should say.
Yeah.
You'd be fucking pissed.
You would. Because
you're saying, wait a minute. I saw the gas price that says $2.30. It's $2.29. And you're saying I have to pay $2.79 because I live in Chicago? What kind of bullshit is that?
Yeah.
That's the same thing with the entertainment tax. And I really feel bad for people that live in, but then again, this is Chicago. You keep voting in the same idiots every fucking election. I mean,
have I ever told you the definition of insanity?
Oh yeah, they do the same shit over and over. And you know what? It's not just Chicago. It's that shit's starting to spread out into the fucking burbs. Okay? I mean, now you've elected fucking Snorlax as your governor. That's what I call J.D. Pritzker, by the way. I mean, I understand Rauner was an incompetent boob. You remember that comment he made about diversity? You know what he did? He put some fucking Nesquik in some milk.
Wow.
You know what? I'll show you the picture here. I'll show you the picture.
All right.
But let me see. Let me find it here. Oh no, that's not it. Let's see. You know what? Hold on. Let me see. God damn it.
We're already breaking television rule 1.
Yeah, it's called Dead Air. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I think I might have found it. Yeah. Fuck it. I'll look. I'll find it later.
All right.
But it's like I said, that bullshit is starting to spread into Illinois for the rest of Illinois, because you want to know why DuPage County, Lake County, even fucking Kane County is slowly going blue? You want to know why? All these motherfuckers from Cook County are moving out here.
Damn.
That's how bad the situation is in Chicago.
Wow.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
Well, look forward to that, biting them on the ass.
Oh,
now it's time to take the piss out of the Witcher Netflix thing.
Oh yeah.
So, Bo DeMaio.
Hold on.
Now, putting aside the fact that we already took the piss out of the design for the design for The Witcher. Namely the fact that Henry Cavill doesn't even look like him, and he has an outfit that looks like it was made out of old mud flaps.
Mm-hmm.
When there are cosplayers who do better jobs, and I will agree with Weaponized Nerd Rage. Netflix should have gone to one of those cosplayers and just said, "You mind if we borrow your services for making outfits?"
Yeah. Oh, by the way, that image I was talking about, it's on the Discord.
All right.
That idiot drinking the chocolate milk, that's Rauner.
Wow.
He was making a point about diversity, and that was just the most stupidest thing I've ever seen. It's no wonder no one voted for his ass.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first off, he's not getting my vote because he's drinking chocolate milk in front of me.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah.
But I want to see something. You want to see something better though? This is how I summed up the fucking governor's race.
Okay, let's see. The Illinois gubernatorial race: a wild cuck versus a wild Snorlax.
Yeah, and the wild Snorlax won. That's how bad it was.
Wow.
Anyway,
All right, but
apparently,
now Bo DeMaio is apparently one of the writers for The Witcher, and well, he doesn't have a check mark, but I'm guessing that he's posing in Gaza to show how woke he is, and show how bourgeois he is by being able to afford a trip to Egypt.
You know what time it is, kids?
Get the fuck out of here!
Oh, wrong one.
Ooh.
Yes.
Right, he goes, this is in response to somebody saying, it's funny. It's like you saying the acting ability is far more important than how that character is supposed to look or is described. Let's find the best white actor alive and let him play Black Panther. Then we'll see how you guys would react if it's all about the acting.
Very fair point.
Yeah, even though
and like I said, I would be against anyone not black playing Black Panther. It's like it's part of their character. It's like you do that to Black Panther, you do that to Blade, or fucking Static Shock or Spawn.
Yeah.
It's like you're taking away basically their origin, basically. That's not a good idea.
Although his response to this was equally stupid, saying to make a white actor Black Panther would make no sense due to how race plays a part in the character. The continent is a fantasy world. That's racial dynamics are played allegorically between fantasy species, not skin color or earthly race.
Stay off the damn weed.
Really?
See, this is why I don't want any of my books to ever be a TV or movie. Because you have these fucking soy-dripping douchebags saying stuff like, well, Black Panther, it really matters because Africa. But this fantasy world made up entirely based upon Judeo-Christian medieval Europe, where the majority of people were white and black people were rare at best, should be entirely brown because it's just fantasy. And if their fantasy can have elves, why not black people?
Whenever I hear that sort of thing, the only question I have to ask is, why do you think so little of your source material?
Yeah.
Well, they're not fans of it. Number one. Number two, all they are just a bunch of fucking pretenders.
Yep.
And Rawls, if the only way I say you could do a TV show, but here's the secret. You have to be the point man. It means you're gonna have to, like I said, do it yourself, do it independently. Don't let all these jagoffs even anywhere within like 10 miles of it.
It's kind of funny, because they're like, well, your fantasy can have orcs and elves and dwarves. Why not black people? And it really ignores something that, a lot of fantasy people who build fantasy worlds take into account.
Exactly.
And that is, it's a very limited geographical area, usually isolated, usually low on resources, with enough resources to expand and build, but there's high competition for them. It shows they don't understand geography. They don't understand how civilizations are created or maintained or expand. And it shows they don't understand resource allocation.
Yeah, they made this. They made the same stupid error when they tried to criticize Daniel Vavra about over Kingdom Come, over the why there's so many fucking.
I kept hearing repeatedly, but my Moors. Yeah, they existed.
Yeah,
Italy.
Not an argument, buddy. The closest you'll get is the Cumans. That's about it.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, Routes.
Go for it.
No, but it just goes to show you that they don't actually care about the setting.
Of course not.
They don't care about the setting. They don't care about anything but getting woke points. And, I'm going to say it. I'm going to say the same thing I have said since forever. If you are black and want representation and you don't think there's that enough white authors are making representation, but at the same time you bitch about cultural appropriation, write your own shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I've made attempts to highlight the sword and soul subgenre.
Yeah, really. And that's the thing, I don't like it when you try to change. I mean, change people's skin color just to get woke points. I mean, in some ways, it's like, again, I see this as the equivalent of changing a character who's originally black to another character. I mean, imagine a Mexican Luke Cage.
Oh.
Yeah. Imagine that.
Yeah.
And I've mentioned this before, but there was a very Tales-inspired RPG that came out not too long ago called Orion: Legacy of the Kori Oda, that was made in South Africa.
Okay.
I heard no word of praise from regarding this game from the Woke Brigade.
Right.
Of course not, because they got.
Huh?
They probably don't even know it exists.
They don't exist, or
when I bring it up, they look at me like I got flaming turds hanging out of my mouth.
Because they're idiots.
But then again, these are probably the same people that make those ridiculous stretches when they say that certain fantasy races are analogs for real world races, like the whole line about elves being Asians.
Listen. I don't think. I don't remember any Japanese people casting magic. Come on.
Well, what it is this thing that's come forward lately called Death of the Author is probably one of the most disgusting fucking things I've ever seen. Where it's like, we don't care what the author says. If the guy, I get to look at you and tell you that I know what you were meaning for metaphors better than you do.
Yeah. But you know what? The author can only say this sentence in response. You're full of shit.
Oh, and by the way, their website is pretty bare bones, but I did find that that African RPG that I was considering suggesting as an alternative after Orun was a massive fucking disappointment.
Oh god.
Which was Ki Kanga, because I learned last year, actually not last year, 2 years ago, there is a subgenre of fantasy fiction that's been gaining a fair bit of traction called Sword and Soul. The idea is to take the kind of storytelling styles you would see in a Robert E. Howard work, except it's taking place in Africa with a lot of African mythos.
So whoever wrote this could be Native Africans or someone who spent a considerable amount of time in Africa and learned some lore.
And
yeah.
I learned about it around the same time I learned about the metal movement in Botswana.
There's a metal movement in Botswana?
Oh, fuck yeah. Some of that shit's amazing.
Yeah. It's actually, even though you have a lot of pictures of people trying their best to look like Motorhead.
Oh.
you gotta say, you gotta give props to some black dude dressed all in black leather out there in the African sun doing a metal video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So there's literal black metal in Botswana, huh?
It's all over Central Africa.
mm-hmm.
There's a
bit of an underground black metal movement in Saudi Arabia.
I think that you know what it is. It's sort of like I would say it's a sort of a rebel movement against in Central Africa. I would say it's more of a rebel movement against China, and in Saudi Arabia, well, it's probably a rebel movement against the House of Saud.
Anyway, Bo goes on to say, I don't know if any fan has more claim than the other, as the entire idea of fan ownership just produces conflict. So in other words, you'd want your and your kinds to own it. And somebody points out to him when he says that some people think Adam West's Batman is perfect, others Keaton, others Bale. And someone points out, but Batman is a character that morphs into something every few editions of the comic book. A new story, a new Bruce, sometimes not even Bruce. There are thousands of different Batmans. Only one Geralt, only one Yennefer. You're making bad comparisons. Try again.
Yeah.
Which he says, I don't think I am. Are you in love with Yennefer because she is white or because of her character?
Oh yeah, now he brings race into it. You know what it's time for this? Drink.
School.
And see, she's already pinned you to the wall. You can't say, well, I also like the way she looks, or else now she gets to paint you as a racist. She's set up the trap.
Yeah, but the thing here is that's how you know this idiot's on the ropes. He busts out the fucking straw man. So if you say no, then he said, well, then you shouldn't mind it. But if you say yes, he drops the racist bullshit on you.
Yeah.
Shortly after Opal points out, I think fans are worried because Yennefer is such an important figure. He decides to go. But now I must go eat.
I can't handle the bants, of course.
Although Raiton makes a good point when he says, but it's okay to take a Polish book with Slavish culture and mythos and change that, though, because the races in the books / games don't play into parts of their characters. What if Harry Potter, Ron, and Hermione were all Pakistani? Source material and cultural aspects matter.
Yes, they do.
Oh yeah, because But again, but the thing is, they don't do this with any Arab culture, even Far East culture or African culture. No.
No, that's called racial cultural.
Yeah. But but you know what? When it comes to Caucasian culture, be it Polish, British, Spanish, Italian, or fucking French, off into the trash it goes.
And yet, let me point out a bit of an irony. How many times have I seen some hipster wannabe new age druid motherfucker who constantly has to play a druid with and post about their druid character in D&D Twitter. Thank you very much, Ralph.
Fucking hippies.
Like, I'm just saying, I see so many hipsters trying to pretend to be Celts.
I guess they don't know their history. In other words, history EXE has crashed. Abort, retry, fail.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I swear to God.
Although he ends with, at one point he says, take some comfort in that you have 5% of the whole picture. Premiere day is the real test.
And I can't wait. And that's when the reality's gonna set in that it's garbage.
Yep. So we can put you right in the same trash as Zira, who decided to put out that new version of Spinnerella and turned a and for whatever reason make Spinnerella fat.
Body positivity. That's why. And because of that.
Yep.
School.
I don't know.
It's like I said, this guy. I mean, it's like this guy is walking hubris.
Mhm.
Elves, dwarves, and halflings are not just from Celtic.
No.
It's also from Germanic also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? I feel like I need to add the Lord of the Rings movies to the list of read or watch something else.
Exactly. I'm tired of people saying, "Oh, Lord of the Rings." Like, come
they
on,
didn't
man.
read it. They watched the fucking movie.
The movie's awesome. I understand that, but don't fucking use that as a basis for saying, "Oh, this must be doing this." No. That's not how shit works.
No.
Not one bit.
Because there were black people in the Lord of the Rings books.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have now my acronym for SNL is still not laughing.
Yes.
So we have so
Wait.
now this is a bit out of date because he did apologize, but this had to do with
he's since apologized.
Yeah.
He apologized last night.
Although it's a case of, are you sorry or are you only sorry you got caught?
Yeah, he got caught, especially since now apparently Big Boss confronted him.
Oh my god, you're right. He does look like Big Boss.
That's why I call Dan Crenshaw. I call him. He's basically Big Boss.
Yeah, he's basically Big Boss or Old Snake.
He is I was gonna go with either Big Boss or possibly Venom Snake. And that's what we have for the Geeks of the Week. And as a result, I think it's high time we do our customary 5-minute before we get to the main event.
Alrighty then.
All right.
Well, I'll play the music in just a second. Okay, where's the fucking thing? Okay. Oh, here we go. Hold on a second. This is a good track here. I can do that thing. All right, here we go. I'll be back. Time to get a drink.
Same here.
It's kind of catch can. No, she's in the bathroom. It's catch can.
And the feeling starts in your mind. Cross the line.
Yes.
Give it all your time. We can make it right. Even hazy. When you wanna say it, you can say it to me. Hazily. Even though we say that it may never go back to the way that it was. Don't walk away when the life is gone, when the moment stays in your brain. Walk away when the mind is free, it lets you be. Even hazy. When you wanna come, when you wanna say it, you can say it to me.
All right. I got my drink. All right. Oh, my word.
And I am back.
Yeah, same here. Oh, boy.
All right, let's get these. All right. This is good. I think I'm going to start the introductions after the clips. So, Count Hogan, play us in.
Yes.
Okay. I'm fairly certain we all remember our old dear friend and former dev at Paizo and former dev
In and back.
at ArenaNet, Jessica Price.
Oh, oh, yeah. Calamity Jessica. That wannabe cowpoke.
Apparently, a place called Wireframe decided to see fit to bring her in to do an editorial.
Oh, boy. You know how that's going to end up.
So what we have here is an excerpt from Wireframe. Not too familiar with the magazine, but since I haven't heard of them, they're probably shit.
Oh, yeah.
It is called In Search of Real Criticism. And just to run a little experiment, let me see.
No, not this time, Judy. I gotta take my time. But next time.
Yep, still blocked from Jessica Price's Twitter.
Next time, sweetie.
I really don't care about that friggin'. You know what? I got a feeling that one of the NPCs in Red Dead Redemption 2 is based on that idiot.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if she isn't, maybe they should do that when it comes to PC, mod her in, and I'll go ahead and feed her to the damn gators.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, and you know what? Roger Ebert was right.
Mm-hmm.
Although, to be honest, I think the question of can games be art is seeing the forest for the trees. I believe that yes, they can be, but if you try and have them be art in the same way that a passive experience is art, you are a failure.
Yes,
exactly. And the thing is, why I say games cannot be art is because you need to have gameplay in that shit. You know, a good example of why it cannot be art. Every single walking simulator.
I believe they can be art, but it's a different kind of art than we dealt with previously.
yeah.
I consider
art. People said radio couldn't be art. People said television couldn't be art. I imagine somewhere somebody said that paintings couldn't be art.
Now, I have made it very clear that I'm a big fan of the works of Tetsuya Mizuguchi, who is the same guy behind he was partially responsible for Space Channel 5, but he's more known for Rez, Lumines, and Child of Eden. And most recently, he directed Tetris Effect.
Right.
He also did E3, aka Every Extend Extra.
Ah,
And it was originally a PSP game, and then he ported it to the 360.
mhm.
But the thing with his style is that he's very, very good at creating these audiovisual feels when it comes that are integrated with his gameplay style.
Ah,
Like having every single action that you do have its own little musical cue.
right.
That's what he's good at. So his particular stuff, I would be confident in saying his stuff can be considered art. I've seen some people make the argument for Spec Ops: The Line, but
Hmm?
again, the thing we come back to is that it has to be a different kind of art. It can't be art in a passive sense.
Exactly.
But I honestly think that the question of whether or not games can be art is people seeking validation.
That's what it is. Yeah, that's what it is. It's like all these. It's just excuse. It's basically an excuse to make trash. For
I
example,
wouldn't say an excuse to make trash. I'd say people not being confident in their work as a game, or rather being envious of the social position that
yeah,
music, paintings, that all have.
yeah. But I say excuse for trash is it comes in the form of a question. Have you seen postmodern art?
Yes.
It's fucking trash.
Yes.
Postmodern art it's art because I say it is.
Exactly. And they want to do the same thing with gaming and basically bring it down to trash level. That's why I'm what when people say to me games are art, I call bullshit because number one, if you suck all the gameplay out, all you got is garbage.
Anyway.
So so it's like that's why I don't subscribe to the. I mean, yes, some people can turn in some good something very artistic and what have you, but you know what? If you as long as you have idiots trying to validate this kind of shit so they can have their excuse to make trash, I'm sorry. That's not an argument.
No.
Not in the slightest. Anyway, she goes, any narrative medium can produce art, but I'm not sure we're producing many examples that meet that definition. Well, when your definition is so flexible, then nothing is going to meet your definition.
Of course.
Let's be honest. Okay, drink number one, using let's be honest is an instant fail.
Well, I say it all the time, but you know what? At least I'm actually being honest, not just being a condescending little douche.
Well, the reason why I can't stand that phrase when it's used in these sort of arguments is because it's used to try and pressure the point, essentially begging the question.
But the question exactly.
Which one? Sorry, which one?
The phrase I find the phrase "let's be honest" to be a bit of begging the question.
Usually they're never honest.
They're never honest.
Okay, I love this. Had it been a movie or a book, I doubt it would have gotten much attention. This shows that you're a pretender because Atlas Shrugged is a book that just won't go away.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially yeah. And the funny thing is, if she read this, don't they know that this is a book that is pretty much flying in the face of their bullshit ideology?
Yeah, never mind that.
Yeah.
And yeah, Atlas Shrugged did get a movie. It was shit, but it still got a movie.
Yeah.
And better than that, BioShock actually is a fucking political. You know what? That right there shows she doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let's see. She goes, part of that is because the industry's economics don't provide fertile ground for auteurs.
I'm gonna press X on that one.
This begs the question. Drink.
Yep.
School.
Given the inherent conservatism in the way the industry makes decisions about content, would we be making more art if customers demanded it?
Well, substitute the word art with trash.
Their idea of art and my idea of art is quite different.
Exactly. Their idea of art is like what the hell are you talking about?
Mm-hmm. He goes, probably, but that's not the core audience for most AAA games. Well, there's problem one. You're focusing just on AAA games.
Yeah, you aren't giving indie games any spotlight,
any respect, yeah,
or any respect, yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, the funny thing is, AAA is already a dumpster fire. I mean, she wants to even make it a bigger dumpster fire.
She then goes to say, besides, very few sources are providing audiences with the tools to even recognize art when they encounter it. So it's a case of, you wouldn't know good storytelling if it hit you in the face.
Oh, it's no, you aren't educated properly in art.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, I'm so cultured.
Bitch.
Stupid bitch.
Stupid.
I'm speaking, of course, about the lack of genuine criticism in games.
Wait, what does that have to do with art? Your whole fucking premise up to this point has been art, and now you
that has nothing. That has nothing to do with your point.
This is one huge non sequitur.
And at least
I'm going to lead up into my article with this. Now, don't pay any attention to this, and here's my real argument.
He's jumping all over the place.
I think the closest I ever did to something this bad was when I reviewed Tenra. I talked about how much of an influence the console style RPG or JRPG was, and the reason why that was relevant was because, well, Tenra was my second Japanese tabletop that I had been exposed to, so I wanted to build a profile. But at least I was going somewhere with how I did that, and this is a case of these two things do not match.
Yeah, what's your end game here, cowgirl?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because for the past year, when I speak at conventions, I've been asking gamers and game devs what a critic does. The only answer I've received is that a critic tells you whether a game is good or bad, or worse, that a critic tells you whether to buy a game. How is this bad?
Yeah, really.
Exactly.
I don't go. Nobody was watching Siskel and Ebert back in the day to determine what they thought a certain movie made you feel. It was, okay, is the movie good or is it shit? Is it good? Why? There, done.
Yeah, exactly. No third level bullshit and all that crap. It's like they want critics to measure a game by how woke it is. That's how ridiculous that they want the system to be. Not measured on actual merit.
He goes, given the corporate entanglements between game companies and many review sites, the last bit is especially chilling.
You know, I think she got a point about the corporate entanglements. I'll give her that point. But like I said,
there was just one problem though.
Yeah.
The majority of reviewers or let's players that people actually pay attention to do not have that entanglement.
No. Exactly. Yeah, and like I said, and they're gonna give their most honest opinion, and like I said, and they're gonna trust their opinion over theirs, and of course, until they end up becoming so sniffing so many of their farts, they end up becoming like Jim Sterling or fucking ass blasted Alejandro Estrada.
Mm-hmm. mean, even though I've spoken with Alexander Macris, he didn't pay me to write a review of Adventure Conqueror King's system. I was gonna do that. I was gonna do that anyways. I did. It was just that I told him in advance I'm gonna be putting a bit of a disclaimer in there, regarding the fact that I talk with you, but I'm not going to let that affect my judgment. He was like, "All right, I did the same. I'm going to eventually review Dungeons and Delvers, which, by the way, is a very good alternative for people who want something simple like Fifth Edition is, but are sick of the wokeness.
Yeah.
Go grab Dungeons and Delvers. Your wallet will thank you." Especially since David Gale is a chill motherfucker. Or worse, when I find it's been especially chilling. I die a bit inside, sitting here with my literary criticism degree every time I hear that.
Over dramatic bullshit, sweetheart.
She's about to come down from on high and tell us all about how it's her job to educate the fucking idiot plebes with how to understand whether or not something is art.
Yeah, and because of her
which, you're right on the money on that, because look at the next paragraph.
Am I? Because I'm looking at Twitter right now. So
she says the role of the critic isn't purely that of tastemaker or judge. The critic is a guide, an educator, and an interpreter. The critic makes subtext, text, traces themes, and fills in white space. Put another way, the critic helps the audience find deeper meaning in a piece of art. Or the critic teaches the audience the rules of the games artist plays so they're on a level ground with the artist.
Condescending bullshit. That's a drink.
School!
Get me my fucking drinking horns.
Oh.
So let me understand this. So as you guys know, yesterday I released my review of BattleTech. Was I trying to make subtext text, trace themes, or fill in white space?
Nope.
No. I was reviewing a game that had a degree of controversy, and I wanted to give my take. That was it. No, the kind of now, yeah, there are people who make analysis videos on certain themes and the like. Like I remember seeing one video about whether or not the painting at the end of Spec Ops is a reference to the Guernica.
I've never played it because a friend of mine advised me not to.
Yeah, but he basically made a video about the painting near the end and how that might possibly be a reference to the Guernica painting that Picasso made in response to the events of the Spanish Civil War. Because if I recall correctly, when he was painting the thing, a soldier because he was a war photographer when that happened, and from everything that I've heard, the Spanish Civil War was a particularly nasty affair. And when he painted the thing, a soldier came up to him and asked, "Did you do this?" And he said, "No, you did." But this whole notion that the critic is supposed to be the guide or something like that, the closest thing that can happen is explaining some of the quote unquote rules and motifs, which to be honest, you're gonna have to do that when you're analyzing a work anyways.
Yeah.
And that's just the case of you got to know the rules before you can break them.
Yeah.
She goes on to say, one only has to compare movie or TV reviews in any mainstream publication in which at least some critical analysis beyond "is this movie worth watching" is fairly standard, with most of the entries in major video game review sites, which tend to focus on specifying what content is in the game and whether it's fun. In an economic sense, such reviews clearly serve consumers, but they're not exactly serving those who consume media. That's not to say no one's doing real criticism. There are plenty of brilliant game critics, mostly writing for sites outside the mainstream. I feel like you put in that last bit just so you could cover your ass.
Yep.
And when I look at movie and TV reviews from people I do trust, they are still doing the whole is it worth watching? Because fuck, have you seen how much it costs to go to the damn theaters these days?
Exactly.
Arm, leg, or your firstborn.
The only time I can tolerate going is on Tuesdays, where I can get it for $5. And the question that I have to ask is, what exactly do you so when I'm reading a review, should they be talking about how instead of talking about whether or not the thing was good, about how blank is clearly an expression of the author's feels or some shit.
Yeah.
Like, let me.
Yeah, in fact, I'm surprised you managed to understand that paragraph. I mean, it's like that was a bunch of fucking word salad. You know, have you noticed that?
Mm-hmm.
That whole paragraph was just a bunch of nonsensical word salad.
And I'm trying to find that old line about the guy who painted his walls blue. Sorry, I was on the wrong window. Because I can't remember where I found it, but somebody was saying, here's a picture. The walls in the picture are blue. The art critic goes, he painted the walls he painted the walls blue because he wanted to express his depression. The painter goes, no, I wanted to use blue.
Exactly. It's like there's no fucking color meaning behind and every reason to paint. It's like, if it looks good, I'm gonna paint it blue.
Yeah.
And let's see, she goes, I read reviews of my favorite TV shows on the AV Club. Well, there's your problem. You're reading the AV Club.
Oh yeah, you know what that means. Bartender, bring me Das Boot.
School.
He goes, and other sites after I've watched the show, because I learn things from those writers. It's part of the digestive process, and I get insight from it. I've rarely had reason to read game reviews after playing the game.
Well, sweetheart, you're learning the wrong shit.
So,
Yeah.
so by that logic, I didn't learn anything regarding. I don't learn anything from whenever I look at one of Racevik's videos. For the record, Racevik does really damn good videos. I first found out about when he did the Mass Effect Years Later series, and he's made some pretty insightful things. His video on the problem with modern DLC, where he said that DLC these days is more of extensions than expansions.
Ah.
Yeah, he's got a point. I mean, it's not. I mean, shit. You get extensions of the way they use DLC nowadays. It's like it's a nickel and dime scheme instead of actually using expansion packs like they used to do back with PC games.
Well, the thing that he was trying to highlight in that video was that the sandbox within a lot of the DLCs is the same sandbox that's in the core game. That nobody uses that very few cases you have somebody using the DLC framework to create a different type of experience. I'd say one example it's basically an expansion, but it would count under this is Shogun 2: Fall of the Samurai, which changed so much about the Shogun 2 formula that it was almost a completely different game.
Oh, so, and since we're talking about the Shogun series,
A shameful display!
I had to do it.
There was a mod called Jade Empire in Style that introduces a lot of changes to Jade Empire, and because of that, I called it Jade Empire 1.5. And hey, it's the closest thing I'll get to a sequel to that game.
Right.
Well, except except for a few indie developers in China who are trying to make something akin to it, like the Tale of Wuxia games.
Yeah, considering the region, it might make more sense to expand the lore a bit. You know, they know a bit more. They're in that same fucking. So who knows?
She ends with saying, "Video games are a geek medium, and the hallmark of geek is passion and deep engagement." And yet, which is completely ironic, given how she decided to take a piss on the people who were passionate about Guild Wars 2.
Well, here's the problem. She likes to use that. Here's the problem, Ms. Price.
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
And the home, in theory, she goes, in theory, with an audience primed to devour and pore over every detail, the back and forth conversation we have through games should be richer than other media. It's not.
Well, you know why that's not the case there, sweetheart? Because you keep blocking everybody.
Yeah.
He goes, and I wonder if that's because very few people are teaching gamers the rules of the critical game. You want to know what this reads to me? This reads to me as somebody who thinks that they're the smartest one in the room and is frustrated that no one's quote unquote on her level or respect or quote unquote respecting how SMRT she is.
Oh God, yeah. Well, I'd tell you to put her head back down, but she's obviously delusional. So instead, I'm gonna have Stephen H send her off.
Mm-hmm.
Stay off the damn weed.
Yeah. Yeah, you look. Yeah, and judging by that picture, sweetheart, yeah, you need to stay off the fucking wacky tobacco.
Yeah.
And no matter how many times you cosplay, you're not going to be allowed to be an NPC in Red Dead Redemption 2.
Well, you know what? Well, I hope someone does make her an NPC in that game when the PC comes out. So this way we can either feed her to the gators, or maybe better yet, deport her to Mexico.
Yeah.
You got to go back. No. You have to go back.
But that's what we've got for the main event. This was a bit of a cool down day, especially since, well, right outside my window it's fucking cold.
Yeah, same story here.
It's 18 degrees right now.
Oh boy, hope you got a lot of blankets.
I do. Plus, even at my size, I am very good at conserving heat. I'm a bit of a. The reason why I can't stand summer is because I'm too much of a heat magnet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and during the winter, I have no problem. In fact, like I said, I hardly ever keep my heat on.
I've got a problem with I have embedded metal, so once I get cold, I'm in pain. Where my wife likes it cold and gets overheated too easy.
Oh boy!
Menopause, and so we're always, it's too hot, it's too cold, it's too hot. She's over there sweating, and I'm like, oh, this is nice, it's warm. And she's like, I'm gonna die of the heat.
Oh boy!
But with that, I believe it'll be high time to wrap up this edition of Monastery Live.
I would have been on more, but my granddaughter was singing for everybody and playing imaginary instruments, and she is very loud.
Yeah, I kind of figured as such.
You could probably hear it in the background a few times.
I did.
Yeah, just keep her away from anything with any Casio products.
You know what? I could, but too easy. but with all of that in mind, as far as what's coming down the what is coming down the pipe, well, in 2 weeks I will be releasing my next review. It is likely going to be Pendragon, King Arthur Pendragon, because, like I said, I wanted to pay my tribute to Greg Stafford.
Right.
And when it comes to what's going to be coming after that, we'll see. I have been toying with the idea of doing some video game streams. It's just a matter of getting over the hurdle. And
Right.
it's not a case. I can safely say this though: I will not be streaming Fortnite. I will not be streaming PUBG.
Good.
I will be streaming Fallout 76 once I move, because small group.
Mm-hmm. Although, hopefully by that time, Dead learns how to stealth.
Yes.
If you hear me saying this, Dead, well, you can kill me later. I am too busy to die. Just much like how Routes is too angry to die. But until then, we will see you all again in 1 week's time for Monastery Live number 24. I am debating whether or not we should use the sound effect from the TV show, or maybe I come up that 1 week with a Jack Bauer avatar or something.
Oh yeah.
But on behalf of Good Brother Aaron, Good Brother Flutter, Good Brother Routes, I am your gaming monk, and we'll see you next week. Stay frosty, and fuck the WotC.